Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Octopus Math by Sahiba. Question 9, complete the table of values for this. So let me use my calculator and show you two ways on how to get all these values for x without making so many efforts for every time substituting in manually. So method number 1 is basic substitution, like we already know that you, instead of x, you put the values you're interested in, like negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the values which are missing. So you can use it by regular substitution, that negative 1 squared minus 3 times negative 1, and then negative 1 again for the values for the value of y when x is negative 1. This is basic method, right? Another smart method of substitution is that if you see all these letters x, y, z, like all these letters here, they're in red, x, y, m, a, b, c, all these letters, we are going to use them smartly. So alpha x I'm using, right, because it's in red, so I'm going to use my alpha key to unlock it. And then I'm going to use my the CALC button over here, which allows me to set value on my x. So right now I want my value of x to be negative 1 because that's what we are interested in right now. So negative 1, and then I'm going to press my equals to sign, and that's where it will tell me that the value of x is fixed in this case to be negative 1. And then I'm going to write the function in terms of x only. Again, alpha x squared. I'm going to type everything. We don't have to worry about um, substituting the values of x all the time. We can simply type the function and press equals to. We will get the value, which is 3. Now this means that because we saved the value of x to be negative 1, this function basically means that this function will give us the value of 3 when x was negative 1, right? Okay, so similarly you can change it, change the value of x. Now the next value I want is again calc button. The next value I want it to be positive 1, right? So I'll press 1 equals to. Now it saved it. Now I don't have to retype it. I just have to use this arrow key button to do the last function I did. Remember, this will only work if you do not press the on button and only work with AC buttons. So equals to will give you negative 3. That means when x was 1, y has to be negative 3, right? So this is one way of doing this. Another efficient method, and that's the method I prefer and I use, is by using table method. Now for that we need to go to this mode button and see this table on the key 7. I'm going to press 7 for the table, and this function of x basically means y. I'm going to input my function of this x squared minus 3x minus 1 here. So doing the same method, x squared minus 3x minus 1. Okay, so my calculator has this function of asking me another function if I want to input. So I'm not interested in another function. There's only one function I'm interested in. So I'll let it go. Press equals to, it will let it go. Now start button, I want my function to start from negative 2 because that's where my x is starting from, and then I'm going to end it by 5. It's by default it's 5. And step 1 means it has common difference of 1. Like from negative 2, the next number has to be one step away, which is negative 1, and then again one step, so it's 0, right? So you can change the steps accordingly, and then steps are done, fine. It drew me a table. Like on negative 2, if we can see, when x was negative 2, f of x, which means y has to be 9. So we can verify it from here that if x is negative 2, y is 9. So if x is negative 1, y has to be 3, right? So we can check it from here. Then x is negative 1, y is 3. And then we can go down with the arrow key. 0 is negative 1, 1 is negative 3, 2 is again negative 3, and then 3 is negative 1, and then 3, and then 9. You will see that it's always symmetric, right? Okay, So the table is complete. And then these two numbers are really important. I'll show you how these will, you will need more numbers in between them. All right, so for B, we need to draw the graph. I'm just going to zoom it out a bit. Right, so -2 and 9. So the value of x is -2 and the value of y is 9. So my point is here. The next value I want is negative x is -1 and y is +3. This is my point. And then 0 and -1, this is my point. 1 and -3 has to be here. 2 also has a -3. And then 3, -1, 4, 3, and 5, 9. Now I'm going to draw the graph, connect the point with a smooth curve. Okay, so now the reason that I have not connected these two last points these 2 points, the reason is that if I try to connect them, it will go like this straight, which is not really the case, right? So when you have to draw this curve, we need to see that the quadratic curves always have one extreme point that is either a maximum or a minimum. So in this case, it's clearly visible that it's going to have one minimum point, right? So it cannot have multiple minimum points. Like this -3 looks like it's a minimum point, and again a -3 at 2. It also has to be a minimum point in this case, right? Looks like, but it's not exactly the case. The perfect case is that we need to see right we need to locate a point that is right in middle of 1 and 2 to locate the midpoint, because this is the point where the graph is going to be symmetric. This is the line of symmetry, right? So you will see that all the points on the right side of this line have to be exactly symmetric to the left side, right? So this line connecting these two looking like extreme points is not the right thing to do. So what we are going to do is, while plotting, we don't have to do it in the table actually for part A, but only for plotting for part B, right? So for plotting of part B, we have to see where x is 1.5. So we need to calculate the value of y where x is 1.5, right? So 1.5 squared minus 3 times 1.5 minus 1 gives me -3.25. So this is roughly where it's going to be -3.25. I'm going to connect it with a smooth curve. Write down the coordinates of the lowest point. So this is the lowest point on my graph, which we just calculated. When x is 1.5, the value of y has to be -3.25. And then on the grid, draw the line of symmetry already drawn. I just drew it to explain you. So this is the line of symmetry. And in part 2, write down the equation of the line of symmetry. So it has to be x is equal to 1.5. And I believe that's the last question on this paper. Let's quickly check the answers. 1.5 and k, where k is between 3.5 and -3. So ours is 3.5 -3.25, so it's good. And then the ruled line, x is equal to 1.5, x is equal to, okay, all good. So I think that's the last thing on the paper. If you like my video, share it with your friends and spread the knowledge. Keep watching for more videos.